You don't know the story of General Charles Q. Brown Jr.? Bullshit! Sit down, get comfortable, because I'm about to tell you the story of General Charles Q. Brown Jr. Charles Quentin Brown Jr. was born March 2nd, 1962, to a military family in San Antonio, Texas. His father, Charles Sr., would serve 30 years in the United States Army, rising to the rank of colonel. His parental grandfather, Robert E. Brown, was drafted in World War II and served in the Pacific Theater in Hawaii and Saipan. Brown would graduate from Homer L. Ferguson High School in Newport News, Virginia in 1980. Then he would graduate from Texas Tech University in Lubbock with a Bachelor's of Science degree in Civil Engineering. At Texas Tech, he would join the Alpha Phi Alpha fraternity in 1981. Brown would go on to become a distinguished graduate of the Air Force Reserve Officer Training Corps, and he was commissioned as a second lieutenant in 1985 after completing the ROTC program. Brown served a variety of positions at the squadron and wing level, including an assignment to the United States Air Force Weapons School as an F-16 instructor. His notable staff tours would include Aide-de-Camp Chief of Staff of the Air Force, Director Secretary of the Air Force, Chief of Staff Executive Action Group, and Deputy Director Operation U.S. Central Command. He also served as a National Defense Fellow at the Institute for Defense Analyses, Alexandria, Virginia. Brown commanded a fighter squadron, the United States Air Force Weapons School, and 2 fighter wings. One was the 8th Fighter Wing, nicknamed Wolfpack, at Kunsan Air Force Base, South Korea. Headquarters U.S. Air Forces in Europe, Air Forces Africa, and Ramstein Air Base, Germany. As a command pilot, Brown had more than 2,900 flying hours and 130 combat hours. Brown's career as a general officer began when he was appointed commander of the 31st Fighter Wing in Aviano Air Base, Italy. He was promoted to the rank of Brigadier General June of 2009. Then in May of 2013, Brown was promoted to the rank of Major General when he was appointed as Deputy Commander, U.S. Air Forces Central Command, U.S. Central Command. Then in March of 2014, he was appointed as Director of Operations, Strategic Deterrence, Nuclear Operations of U.S. Air Forces in Europe, Air Forces Africa at Ramstein Air Base, Germany. Then in June of 2015, after receiving his 3rd star, Brown would be appointed as Commander of United States Air Force Central Command. And in July of 2016, he was appointed as Deputy Commander of United States Central Command. In July of 2018, Brown would be nominated to succeed General Shaughnessy as Commander of Pacific Air Forces. And I'm so sorry if I butchered his name. I really tried to figure out how to say it. Brown would also be promoted to 4-star general while serving in this position. On March 2nd, 2020, the White House would announce that President Donald Trump would nominate Brown to become the next Chief of Staff of the United States Air Force. On June 9th, 2020, Brown was unanimously confirmed 98-0 by the United States Senate. By this confirmation, Brown would become the first African American to lead the United States Armed Forces. Brown was formally announced as President Joe Biden's nominee to succeed General Mark Milley as the 21st Chairman of the Joint Chief of Staff on May 25, 2023. Brown would be confirmed by the Senate on September 20th, 2023. Then he would be sworn in on September 29th, 2023. His term would be effective October 1st, 2023. On February 21st, 2025, President Donald Trump would dismiss General Brown from his position because President Donald Trump has gotten rid of all DEI programs in the federal department, which a lot of people feel like General Brown was a DEI hire, which DEI stands for Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion, which is very confusing because DEI does not mean that you hire someone based on their race, because that would violate the Civil Rights Act of 1967. It's times like these where we realize the lack of education that's present here in the United States of America. But his awards will go on to include 3 Defense Distinguished Service Medals, Air Force Distinguished Service Medal, Defense Superior Service Medal, and 4 Legion of Merit. Now you know the story of General Charles Q. Brown Jr. Make sure you hit that follow button and stay tuned for more stories like these. As long as we tracking.